What's up, everybody? It's Ryan, and in case you hadn't heard, Uncharted 3 celebrated its 2-year anniversary last weekend on November 1st, and in celebration of this 2-year anniversary, Naughty Dog decided to release the last patch, well, according to them, the last patch for Uncharted 3, along with what you're seeing here, a brand new map. It's called Dry Docks. Now, for those of you who remember, way back to, the beginning of this game, there had been some leaked files, and one of the map names was Dry Docks, and so obviously what happened is this map was planned for a while, and they did admit that they had been working on this map and eventually just kind of scrapped it. But then for this 2-year anniversary, they went ahead and released it. They kind of fixed it up a little bit and released it. So, some of us have been waiting over 2 years, but it's finally here, the Dry Docks map. And I gotta say, I really like it. It's kind of the perfect map for my playstyle, which is mid-range. I suck in close quarters, because blind firing never works for me, even before the nerf, but I'll get into that in a second. And, of course, I'm kind of a terrible sniper, and so long-range maps don't really work for me either. But I think this map has a really good sort of mix of ranges. You can see for long distances, but there's also a lot of cover. And there are lots of ways to traverse the map as well. There's an entire section at the bottom, and then there's a big section on top, too. And so it's, I think, a very well-balanced map, and I really like it. I'm really enjoying playing on it so far. So I think this map is a really great addition, and so big thanks to Naughty Dog for finally putting this out. It is free, so in case you haven't gotten an Uncharted in a while, there's a big patch. It's about 500 megabytes, a little bigger than that, that contains this map, as well as this massive patch, which I have to talk about a little bit at least. And this was patch 1.18, I believe. Yeah, 1.18. And it's a big one. There are a lot of gameplay fixes in here, more than I have time or even patience to talk about. But I'm just going to talk about some of the big ones that really impacted me and that I liked or disliked. So first of all, they finally reduced blind fire accuracy on pretty much every weapon across the board, which, I mean, we've been clamoring for this for such a long time. Blind fire has been way too effective in this game, to the point where, after this nerf, I've been sort of struggling because I got so used to, resorting to blind fire, whereas now that's not as effective as if you sort of recompose yourself and aim. And so we've all sort of had to make a readjustment to aiming again instead of making blind fire sort of the go-to in close quarter situations. So, I'm very happy about that. What else? They fixed they didn't fix, but they reduced the rate of fire, the rate of fire mod for the M9, which is, something we've been calling for forever. The community has, been hating that mod, and, well, a lot of the community has been hating that mod and wanting it just gone entirely, and I guess Naughty Dog felt like they couldn't take it out entirely, but they did reduce it. It's still effective as a mod, but, the more they reduce it, the better, because it really, I don't think, adding a mod that makes your gun faster at killing is a good idea. And so, hopefully in the next installment of Uncharted or whatever multiplayer game Naughty Dog puts out, they don't have rate of fire mods for the guns. And also, I hope they don't put the revenge booster in, but that's a different conversation for a different time. Let's see, what else did they do? They fixed Cluster Bomb and Mega Bomb so that you couldn't throw them back, and I think that's a great fix. Now I'll actually be able to use those again, because I am not a great grenade thrower. I'm not great, even when I bank the grenades, I don't seem to be able to do it with much accuracy, and I end up getting them thrown back 90% of the time. And so now that Mega Bomb and Cluster Bomb are not throwbackable, returnable, whatever, I can start using that and actually having it be effective. So I'm happy about that. Another big nerf was Quick Boom. They changed Quick Boom to 12 medals instead of 10, which, and they, more importantly, they reduced the duration of Quick Boom. Because that is just, that's another one of those kickbacks that we all sort of wish wasn't there. It's not necessary. It's really cheap, and so, you know, any nerf to that is definitely a good thing. And yeah, so let's see, what else did they do? One of the things, I guess I should talk about what I didn't like in this patch. One of the things they did, and this is like everybody's been scratching their head, it doesn't make much sense at all, but they took away, well, they didn't take away, but they switched around some boosters, so some of the things that were in slot 1 are now in slot 2, and vice versa. So like Team Safe and Bargain, two of the biggest boosters in slot 2, are now in slot 1. And the stuff that they moved to slot 2 from slot 1, I mean, Regeneration, Explosive Expert, Explosive Shell Expert, really just, you know, it doesn't make sense. And I guess maybe it's just we got so used to having our loadouts set a certain way that it just feels shitty, but it does. Like, it's a big adjustment. It's hard to get used to not having Team Safe in slot 2. You know, I got so used to using Cloaked and Team Safe that I don't understand why they made that move. Robert Cogburn said in the Ask Me Anything on Reddit that it was to reduce the effectiveness of certain booster combinations, but then what he gave as an example was Explosive Shell Expert, which he later corrected to Explosive Expert, and Bargain being an overpowered combination, and that was part of why they switched, but that's still an overpowered combination. It's just Bargain is now slot 1, and Explosive Shell and Explosive Expert are slot 2. So, whatever the actual reason was for this switch, I don't like it. I really want my Team Safe back in slot 2. But, you know, I assume they're not going to make any other fixes. They said this would be the last patch, so we've just kind of got to get used to it, unfortunately. You know, whatever. And then another complaint I have, and this is a minor one, is in regards to the Cal 7. I really, you know, ever since the game came out and the Cal 7 came out and people were saying it was an abomination, it shouldn't be in the game, and to some degree I do agree with that. It's a shitty gun, but it's not because of the gun itself, it's because of how they made the mechanics on it. The rate of fire is really high on it, and the blind fire accuracy is too damn high. And, you know, so ever since the game came out, I've been clamoring for them to reduce the blind fire accuracy on it and reduce the recoil so that you can actually aim the Cal 7 and use it as a viable weapon. And of course, since it's a submachine gun, it's not going to be as effective at long range, but it should be usable for mid-range and short range, with its strength being short range. But the way it is now, and it continues to be this way, really the only way to use the Cal 7 is to blind fire it. And, you know, that just, you know, if you're going to reduce blind fire accuracy on all weapons, why not address the Cal 7, make it a viable weapon, make it a legitimate choice for people to put in their loadouts for more than just sort of lazily blind firing or trolling people or what, you know. People use this gun for various reasons, but it's really, I wish they had sort of addressed the Cal 7 when they nerfed or reduced the blind fire accuracy. You know, too late now, but I think that was a missed opportunity to bring some legitimacy to that weapon that it's never gonna have, at least in Uncharted 3. And so, you know, those were my two biggest complaints with the patch, one being something they did, one being something they didn't do. But overall, don't get me wrong, it's a great patch, and there are lots of fixes that I didn't address in this commentary that were welcome, good additions, and I'm very glad that they came out with this patch. I wish they would have come out with it a little bit sooner, to be honest with you. But, you know, kudos to Naughty Dog for really releasing an awesome patch that addressed a lot of things, fixed a lot of things, and this late into the game's life cycle, the fact that they released not only a massive patch of this size, but also a brand new map is just really awesome of Naughty Dog, and I'm so happy that they're continuing to support Uncharted 3, recognizing that the player base still wants to play it. And so, you know, if you've given up on Uncharted 3, I'd say get on it. At least try out the new map, and the lab is still changing, so what have you got to lose? Anyway, that's sort of my review of the patch and of the new map. Let me know in the comments what you think. Did you disagree with any of my points? Agree? Whatever? Did you wish I'd mentioned something that I didn't? Let me know. Thank you for watching, everybody. I will see you on the next video, and have a good one. Later.